It's time! Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Don't be rude.
This is the way.
Welcome to the Godfathers of Podcasting, broadcasting live on the Shuli Network every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, in case y'all didn't know, they've been podcasting since before podcasting was even called podcasting. Archives of this show are available on every major podcast provider, and you can find video archives, merch, and more on their website, godfathersofpodcasting.com. Now, here are your hosts, two guys who've been broadcasting online since 1996. The Godfathers of Podcasting themselves, Donnie De Silva and Chris Tidwell.
Hey everybody, I'm Donnie, that's Tid. This is episode 132, and it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one, Tid. Hello everyone joining us live in the Shuli Network chat on YouTube. If you're not there, you should get there. If you're listening to an archive of this show, thanks for checking us out. Remember, archives of this show, if you missed anything or if you joined late, are always available on every major podcast provider. And of course, you can go to godfathersofpodcasting.com. If you're in the chat, we welcome your questions, we welcome your comments, and always we welcome your cash. Tid, what's up, my man?
I just want to first and foremost say hello to a couple of new members to the Shuli Network, Randy, Rhea, and Graham Murphy. Thank you very much for joining us in the chat tonight. Let's have some fun. As usual, it's always a lot of fun here. And as you can see, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I'm in the middle of some renovations. And behind me, some things are always changing, some upgrades. Stuff is happening. It's always happening here at the Godfathers of Podcasting. It's been an interesting week. Lots of stuff going on that I'm sure we can get to soon enough. But, I think it's about that time, though, Donnie.
Oh, is it? Wait, hold on.
It's time!
That's way too soon for that clap back, but okay.
Everybody, it is time right now for the big hello. And this week's guest is now the first one in the history of this show to be on this program 4 times, and I couldn't be happier.
Yay!
We're not supposed to have favorite guests, but she is our favorite guest, and she's your favorite guest's favorite guest. And why wouldn't she be? She's a kick-ass singer, songwriter with a punk rock flavor. She's an author who's also working on another new book. She's a podcaster, an entrepreneur, a person who flosses 4 times a day. She's a bright light to so many. She's easily the most outwardly positive human I've ever met. And she's used every bit of that positive energy when she went ahead and kicked cancer's ass. And she continues to support others trying to cope with their own diagnosis. Her long-awaited full-length album, Champion, is coming soon. It's about to drop, and oh my God, I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, let me spit some bars off the top of the lid. We're both so excited. Yes, me and Tid. I've been a fan of hers since I was just a kid. She's the fucking greatest. I said what I did. I was just a lanky, scrawny-ass typical skid. She's a longtime vegan. Doesn't eat squid. I listened to her music from here to Madrid. Now give it up to our pal, the incredible Biff Naked.
Thank you. Oh my God. You guys are the best. I mean, I can't believe winter was so long this year. I feel like you're going to have to do this in person.
We do.
I'm going to have to see you in person. I mean, like,
it's been too long since we've done that as well.
It has. Hi.
Hey,
How are
bud.
you? Hello.
The best. And you know what? I have to tell you this. Not that you're a person that needs her tires pumped, but every single time you are on our show and we post something on socials, Biff is coming on the show. It is the same thing every single time. There's this outpouring of response. I love her. Oh my God, I love her.
So
We
nice.
heard from musicians. We heard from professional wrestlers. We heard from all kinds of people this week saying, oh my God, I adore her. I love her. and I need to tune in. I need to check out Biff. She's my absolute favorite. She's an inspiration. Are you
Aw.
aware of this? Like, are you aware of how many people hold you with this crazy high regard?
That's so nice. That's just so nice. I'm sure the feeling is mutual. I'm sure that I know and hold everyone else in the same regard. And I think that's part of, I mean, that's part of our humanity, our shared humanity. I've always been a big fan of my fans, because I'm just, the same exact person that everyone else is.
Well, we get it
Yeah.
here. You see, like even in the chat here, Devin, who says, I remember Biff Naked on Much Music. Do you get a lot of people that still come up to you? I remember you back from Much Music. I remember you from this, and they can tell you a story. If so, what has been like one of the coolest stories that you've heard where you've been like, oh yeah, I remember that moment. It's kind of cool when you hear it from a fan that they remember that moment as well.
Oh my gosh, I've been really lucky. Honestly, I've been making music and performing since 1989. So it's like, since I grew up, I was a kid. I
A
grew
child
up doing
performer,
this.
a child,
Well,
a child
yeah,
performer, right?
yeah, and it's like, and my fans grew up with me. So
Right.
all of us have gone through all of the same things, whether it is having kids, getting married, getting divorced, illness of parents, our own illnesses, different things in life. And I just think that, there's this weird, unbreakable bond. And I think it's our generation for sure. Because, we're the first and last generation that we're kind of, make fun of ourselves. I don't know. I think that the generations before us and after us are kind of serious. Does that make any sense? Like maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think that it's still cool to be weirdos. And when I do hear stories where people, and particularly girls, women now are like, saying that, a song that I had sung had empowered them in some way. And that kills me because I just want to like hug them and sob and go, that's exactly why I wrote it, because I was going through the same thing. It's like, I don't know. It's very relatable when they tell me a story.
I mean, it's funny to me you say you're lucky because I know we are the lucky ones.
Very well done. Very well done, Tony.
See, that's the super fan in me. If you're out
So
there
nice.
listening live and you have questions for Biff Naked, please just send them in the chat. When I sit here and look at the totality of your music catalog, I think we've talked about this before, how there seems to be a common thread, right? There's relationship trauma, there's coping with all kinds of like crazy bullshit that you've had to cope with. It feels like a lot of your music has a strong cathartic tone. And I've heard some of the songs off the new album. Do you feel like that type of vibe continues through Champion?
Oh, Champion is insane. So it's insane. It's nuts because Doug and I we have written some seriously aggro music, which is kind of funny to me, because yes, it is very cathartic. And when even in the old songs that I have, like Spaceman, I mean, we do acoustic shows and I'll sing Spaceman and I'll get weepy because it's such the feeling is so still so very palpable. It's a song, it's a very sad little song that was written about longing and hating your life so much that you wish you could be abducted by aliens. Like literally that feeling of longing was where the song came from. And on the new record, um, which has been stalled and delayed. And then we thought about it, and then we did this. And it's like, and one of the benefits of being your own record label in this day and age is that you can kind of, set your own schedule. And other things happen. And, this year is it's 25th anniversary of the Ibifficus.
Wow.
So, that's like, we're kind of starting to marinate this big surprise idea for that, which allowed to talk about yet. So that kind of makes Champion kind of go, well, just, just hold up a couple. I wanted to do it last fall, and then we were still tinkering, and I don't know. I think that now it's a completely different album. I keep telling everyone it's a triple album because there's so many songs that we've written. But I have 2 unreleased records that have never been released that are going to go on Champion. And
How many songs are on this album?
I know, and I'm also doing my audiobook right now. And so, there's part of me that's like, oh, well, we should make it available also. And then I have this unpublished poetry book called Razor Blade Chewing Gum, which is basically like dirty trauma porn, and I'm thinking I should just do an audio version of that and also put that on there. So it would be like lots of listening. So like a box set except digital.
Is this all a collection of stuff over like since you were a child, or is this stuff that you went on this like massive spree during like lockdown, or you know what I mean? Like, or is like, did you pull out trunks, you know what I mean, out of storage to go through poetry that you wrote, when you were angry shoegazer child in high school? Like, you know what I mean? Where,
Yeah.
like how was the search for it?
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to write, I wanted to do a small collection of poetry that was basically 5 themes and 10 poems in each theme. And so it was 50
Okay.
poems for my 50th birthday. And it was just like a personal quest that I was on. And a couple of the poems are older. Like there's, and if I reread them, I cringe because they're cringy. Like there was one about Jean Chrétien. Because I was making it up that I was like that I knew him, but I didn't know him obviously. Because I used to have this real habit where I wanted to soil guys in suits a lot. Long story, I don't know. I'm in therapy, but anyways, so it was just like some of it's funny and some of it's super sad and some of it's relationshipy because I'm perpetually the girl who's either falling in love or getting my heart broken or whatever. So really that's a plethora of fodder for songwriting and poetry. So I can't lament anything.
Sorry to jump in, Biff. I just want to make sure with our producers because I'm getting word that there was a problem with my mic. Guys, am I good now?
Yeah, you sound much better now.
Yeah, it sounds much better. And I'm not sure why, but people are wondering if we're live. We're definitely live.
We're definitely live. Like we can even say so much here. I think because we had My Lost Interest was in for $1.99. Let's not forget, Donnie, you've made your first $1.99. That's the intro I want from wifey when I get home. So apparently, you've got some work to do. You've got some schooling for some people out there to coach the wife on how to do those intros.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's what we're going to do. When you mentioned wanting to do something special to mark your 50th birthday, it still blows my mind, and I think the minds of many when they hear your age, because you do not look your age.
That's because but our generation, none of us look our age because we all still skateboard like idiots. We're going to have osteoporosis. We're all going to be like, on longboards going down the hill like way too fast and crashing. I think that and everybody I know is my age or older than me. I mean, you can and I just think of like all my mentors, like whether it's Joan Jett or whether it's like L7 Belly, all these amazing women. And none of them are younger than I am. And there's up and comers, whippersnapper bands that are around today that I just, I see so much potential in them, and it's just funny. And I think that, honestly, I know so many people who are living into their 90s and hundreds. One of my best friends, his dad was 104 and still lifting weights. He still had these like Charles Atlas weights clanging in the basement. I just think that, I think that we're kind of invincible.
Who do you see? You mentioned like these up and comers, these young whippersnappers and stuff like that. Who do you see out there that inspires you? You know what I mean? At this day and age, I mean, you've done it. You've been up and down the road. You've traveled. You've seen everything on stage, off stage, and in between. But who inspires you that you look at them when they perform? You watch them and you're like, oh, this is refreshing. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, there's so much talent. There's so much talent out there. There's a little local band called Shiv and the Carvers here in Toronto, and they're really making some noise, and they're amazing. Siobhan is a gifted front person. She has the light. She has the gift, and so that's cool. Irva Khan is another one. She's got the gift, a superstar. My buddy B Bertrand is a comedian who is a rising star, in comedy, and so sincere and so wonderful. And it'll, if you go see B, your heart will get filled. It's amazing. These kids are young. Like
Yeah.
I could be their mom.
You know what? A couple of my favorite Toronto-based bands that I love right now. I actually credit you for me discovering them because
Oh,
I saw the Sky Wallace band when I
very
came to
cool.
see you at the El Macombo,
Right on.
and they were amazing. But
Yeah.
then two of the members of the Sky Wallace band have their own spin-off band called Altered by Mom, and they've been putting out fucking banger after
Yeah.
banger.
Yes. Yes.
And their new album's coming out in June. And I'm like, oh my, they've been on this show a couple times performing live. They are so fucking talented. I'm
Awesome.
so like, there they are, Altered by Mom. There's Gina, there's Deb. When I see people like that, whether it's Gina and Devin, whether it's you, I'm like, oh my God, I am never going to fulfill my rock star fantasies. I have no talent. It's so frustrating to me because all I ever wanted to do was be in a rock band more than anything. But we got this instead.
But you guys have so much talent.
It's debatable. I was going to ask you something before when we were talking about the whole age thing, because I put out a question on my Instagram story a couple days ago, and I said to everyone out there, hey, if you could ask Biff a question, what would it be? Jenny M had asked a question. What is your skincare routine?
Oh, brother, you know what? I'm so bad. I'll just use like whatever hand soap is like beside the sink.
I think
Like,
that's encouraging to people to
that's
hear
all I
that.
do. I just use hand soap, like, or whatever. And I had acne when I was from grade 8 onward. I had acne and stuff, and now, of course, my skin is still kind of has acne, but now it's super dry.
Mm.
So now I'm just like, it's just everything's a waste of time. But one thing I do, and I have done since I think it was like the day I turned 35, is I wore sunscreen on my face. Like,
Uh,
and when we were young, we were like we were like not goth kids, but we definitely, as chicks, we wanted that aesthetic. So we just all wore baseball hats and didn't let any sun on our face ever, because it was just like, we were poor. That was the only thing we could do for wrinkle relief or control is just avoid the sun. And
Well,
yeah.
and sleeping all day and not going out until after the sun is down and living
Well,
that vampire
that was never my life.
lifestyle.
Yeah, that was never. I still get up at 5 in the morning. Yeah, I've never been that girl. But I mean, honestly, not drinking through my 20s and 30s, when all my girlfriends were drinking. Now that we're all, a little older, feel like I can see a difference.
mm.
Just I don't know. I have no excuses though, because I made all my bad decisions sober. Like, like I still made all the dumbest decisions.
Yeah, it's kind of
But
tough.
don't
You don't
drink
have any.
anymore, do you?
I was going to say you don't have anything to blame it on if you make bad decisions when you're sober,
No.
though, right?
Nothing. Yeah, it's just yeah. I can only, like the saying goes, I can only blame myself.
You don't drink anymore, do you?
I just couldn't, I wasn't good at it, and I just was never really good at it, and I didn't want to be in a situation, especially when I was young and in a
Mm.
band and the only girl and on tour. I never wanted anyone to misinterpret me. So that was really the motivation for me. I just really wanted to be absolutely clear, and be professional and never be like, I just never wanted to be impaired, judgmentally. I didn't want to be sloppy. I didn't want to be impolite. I didn't want to not be able to drive my drunken band. It was for me, it was really, it was about self control. And it was a good fit for me ethically and psychologically. It worked for me. And then, kind of leaning into the straight edge, kind of socio-political
Mhm.
stuff in the 90s really I felt was a good fit for me. I felt very aligned with that. And then, as I got older, it just, I just kept it up. It just alcohol just never really suited me.
So that brings up a thought that I don't think I've ever asked you before. With the straight edge life, the fact that you are such a natural nurturer, you are so caring and loving to everyone around
You
you,
are so nice.
but it's true. Do you end up becoming the mom of your band and taking care of everyone constantly?
100%. And I always have. And here's the other thing. My buddy Gail Greenwood from Belly is also the mom.
Mm.
So basically we were the tour moms. And when we would be on tour with it was sick. Like the tour, we played 250 shows minimum a year. We were never home. It was kind of like a traveling prison in a way, because also the society is different when you're on a tour bus. So if there was ever company on the tour bus, um, Greenwood and I would make popcorn for everybody and make sure and make sure everybody had some. Do you want anything to drink, dear? Do you need, it was just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, and I still do that. And I still, Doug and Chico will tell you, I still want to make sure that they've got their snacks and that they've got the rider. And it's funny because a lot of the promoters will read the rider off to me, and it's like pizza and stuff like that. And I've been a vegan since '95. I don't eat wheat or anything. So pizza's not for me, right? It's for my band. And
Right.
so it's like, I'm like, well, you better make sure you get this kind of pizza and this kind of pizza, because that's what the boys are gonna want when they get off the stage. Okay, thank you. I don't know. I should have had kids, but instead, I have little dogs
Mhm.
and lots of band guys.
But
Do you?
is there
Sorry.
sorry, I just wanted to ask, is there any part of you ever, like if you're picking up some guitarist sloppy ass because he's hammered, or a drummer, you're having to drag his ass home, is there any part of you that ever goes, you know what, motherfuckers, it says Biff Naked on the fucking marquee. It doesn't say drummer that will probably
There's
be
no
replaced
way.
next year. Do you
There's no
ever have a
way.
moment where you go, why am I the babysitter here?
Never, not in my life.
I didn't think so, but
No, no,
wanted
it
to
would
ask.
never occur to me. And also, I could not do my job without everybody. Like
I know.
it's a whole team.
And
And
we get that, but there has to be a meeting or at least a set of rules, because if you guys are on a tour bus, that is a small space for a very long period of time. What are, like, there's got to be base rules on that tour bus for Biff Naked and her band to follow, right?
Bus etiquette?
Yeah.
you know what? The people that I have been privileged enough to play with, um, everyone's just been, very symbiotic. Everyone
So
was very
farting is okay
synchronized.
on the bus, is what you're saying.
It is required.
Okay. All
It
right.
is a requirement. Um, yeah, and nowadays, a lot of bands don't do the
Don't
bus
fart.
tours anymore.
Oh.
Oh.
Because it's also not environmentally cool. It's not economically feasible for most acts anymore. Things are a lot different, and and I like it. I like that we often play in the summer. That's nice because it's warmer. But with the Ibifficus anniversary stuff, there's there's a big potential bus tour for sure.
There was another question that came in on Instagram, on my Instagram at Godfather Donnie, and it was from Ron, and it said, I'm dying to know, what does Biff binge on TV?
I don't own a television.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, I don't have a television. It seems like, if there's a boy in my life, sometimes they bring a television, and that's cool.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
but
Hold on a second. I'm just picturing
but
showing up for a date, and I didn't bring roses. I brought a TV so we could like watch something together, right?
We watch UFC, Biff.
yeah, I just I do like UFC, as you know, but yeah, I don't have a television, and I don't have Netflix. I was at my manager's a couple weeks ago, and they were watching a Netflix show. That was documentary, and that was kind of cool.
That would
But
explain.
I don't watch anything.
That would explain the triple album, the 47, chapters of poetry, the book, the this, the that. That would explain it, right? Idle hands, I guess.
Well, I don't know. There's stuff that I have watched with the band and stuff. Like I think we watched Ozark like 1,000 times, and we watched Breaking Bad like 1,000 times,
Yeah.
like the
As
whole
one
season,
should.
and The Sopranos and The Wire.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so let me understand something then, because I want to understand a snapshot of Biff's day, right? Because I know every morning you're going to post your good morning, like, look at this beautiful sunrise picture on Instagram. You're going to take your beautiful little Yorkie for a walk. You're going to
There's
let him poop
Gracie.
in the park. You're going to do all that stuff. And then what? Because if that was me, that's when I
It'd
would
be a
probably
nap.
turn on the TV and start watching something. What are you doing with your day?
Well, I'm editing my audiobook.
Okay. You're
Um,
working.
Yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm slacking on it a lot because I think I missed a chapter. There's one chapter I have to re-record, so I have to go back and re-record. It's a long story, and what else do I do? It depends. Like I have some events coming up, um, and I volunteer. I'm really, I'm committed to that. I'm committed to dragging that little dog with me, and we go and do visits for sometimes seniors. The elderly really respond to her,
Mhm.
and I never get tired. And same with peer-to-peer volunteering with breast cancer patients. I never get tired of meeting new people and hearing their stories, and being a professional listener. I really like it. When I'm not working, I would love to have my time be full time doing that. But yeah, most days I'm working, and yeah, I commute between
Wow.
Toronto and Etobicoke. My manager's place in the big studios out in Oakville, so it's 33 kilometers out there, and so I go there a lot.
Can we all can we all just go to a nice vegan restaurant and drink some fucking green juice together, please?
Well, yes, but I'd rather just host everybody than go to a restaurant. Like I think I've been to like maybe 3 restaurants the whole 5 years almost that I've lived here. Because I love cooking.
Okay.
I baked my very first cake the other day. I'm not a baker, and there was this recipe called depression cake that I found. Like not
That
depression,
doesn't
like
sound straight edge.
no, not like
Got
depression,
what-
like sad person, but it was like they made it in the depression because it doesn't take
Oh,
eggs or milk
okay.
and
It's
stuff like that.
I thought
So
it was loaded with Xanax.
Yeah, it's a cake with Xanax and some alcohol
No.
or something like that. Wow.
no, it's like, and I made it with chickpea flour because I didn't own any
All right, I'm out.
other flour,
I'm
and
fucking out.
but it was good. It was like cocoa and
Oh yeah.
sugar and chickpea flour.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
So I
cute.
did that.
Listen, we've always said, Biff, and you know this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If there is a heaven, there is a special wing waiting just for you there to do all of these things that you want to do, right? I know that we've got a lot of people that have been sitting inside the chat and we've been listening to Donnie and myself, fan out or whatever. Can we ask you some of the questions that we've got?
Yeah.
Perfect. Andy from Toronto wants to know, do you follow any of today's Canadian music like Fifi Dobson or July Talk?
I love Fifi Dobson. I'm a huge fan. Have always been a huge fan. And she's been in the business a long time. She's a powerhouse. I'm a fan of lots of different Canadian women. July Talk, yes. What else? The Darcys. I still listen to DOA. I still listen to a lot of bands that I've always loved from around the country. I mean, I like everybody. There's nobody I don't like, and there's no genre of music I don't like. I was able to collaborate last year with Rutesh Das from Toronto Tabla Ensemble, and that was like a dream come true for me. It was so cool. I'm a big fan, obviously, of Indian music, and so that was really. I'm a huge fan of his. Ritesh is a star.
Do you cook it?
I'm sorry.
Indian food?
She said
Do you
before the
cook
show she cooks
Indian food? But I mean, like from scratch, like the all-day event. Okay, see, now we're finding out more of what takes up your time through the day, right?
But
When
I
we
don't
were trying
cook
to
it every
figure out-
day.
Oh,
I cook it when my band comes. I eat the same thing every day. I eat spinach.
I know what you don't
in a
do is you
day,
don't call us to
bananas.
come over.
I eat the same thing every day, just like my dog does. But yeah, if I have the band here, then definitely I'm making Hindustani khana.
Speaking of female Canadian singers, she made quite the splash recently, and she just received a commendation, I think, this past week. Julie Black. I'm sure she's someone that you know well.
The queen.
Total queen.
Yeah.
You're aware, obviously, of the story, what happened and when she sang the anthem at the NBA All-Star game, where she changed one fucking word and people lost their ever-loving minds. What was your take on that?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was. Julie, like a lot of us, has been singing the song that way for a long time, and so I think that I don't think there's any reason for people to get. It doesn't. I don't understand anyone would get upset at that, but I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was important. I thought it was powerful, and I'm happy that it was captured and received so much attention. And I'm she's a queen, And again, this is another, amazing Canadian artist that I grew up being a fan of Julie's, and so now as life moves on and as all of us women are evolving and blossoming and continuing to grow and change, I think it's really special, and this is a special time in the world. A lot of change can happen.
Any of our American audience or anyone who wasn't aware of the story, I'll recap it for you quickly. At the NBA All-Star game, Julie Black sang the Canadian national anthem, and the lyric has always been written, "Our home and native land." Julie changed one word, and she changed it to "our home on native land." And people lost their fucking minds. I was like, yo, she's preaching. She's telling the truth. We are on native land. What's the problem here?
I thought it was great. And I think that a lot of people have been singing it that way for a long time. And I think that, I love Julie. And I love that she had the opportunity to sing at the game. And I love that she sang it such a powerful way.
Very quickly, my lost interest, $1.99. Listened to Moment of Weakness. Love love it. So I mean, how can you not? I mean, it's out there. Graham Murphy, $1.49 super sticker. I have no idea
What
what
does
some of
that
this
mean?
stuff means. We have weird people that pop in and out. They you know what I mean?
Thanks for the $1.49.
They say strange things. There's a bit of a bird obsession here on the Shuli network. I don't know. That's
A super sticker is kind of like a super chat, but with no chat attached.
there
to
you
it.
go. He's just given up a $1.49 tip because he likes the conversation here, and we appreciate
Fantastic.
the hell out of it.
Feels
Thank
like
you
a good
very
time to
much.
let everyone know we do have new emojis. They're not loaded into the Discord yet. For Discord members, though, you're going to have access to this emoji now
Oh, good.
All right.
and this one.
Yeah, look at that tongue just hiding up a bit of truth there. Good times.
Well, we don't have a
Good
Biff
times.
emoji. What's up with that, Joe?
We're working on it.
Thank
Exactly. Yeah.
you. Ted, do we have more questions waiting from the chat, or can I move to something else with Biff?
We have another one here. Graham Murphy, $2. I want to support, but not so much to say and broke. I mean, that's kind of like Donnie hosting the show sometimes. Not so much to say and broke, only sometimes too much to say. But thank you for the $2. We appreciate the hell out of everybody.
April 1st, I actually thought this story was a prank, Biff,
Yeah.
but it's not apparently. On April Fool's Day, a punk rock Hall of Fame opened in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Have you heard about this? That I think
yes.
it's Fat Mike is opening this thing up. And
Yeah.
have you been down to Vegas to play at the Double Down at all?
Yes, we've played in Las Vegas before.
Because apparently the same people that own the Double Down Saloon there are opening up a bar inside of this punk rock museum called the Triple Down. Now, so I
fantastic.
mean, they're going to be doing some. I can only imagine they'll be doing some live shows. I mean, yeah. You think there should ever be a Canadian Punk Rock Hall of Fame?
Of course.
Who would you put in it?
SNFU, DOA, the Forgotten Rebels, the Ripcords, the Nils.
The Three Tards.
I don't know them.
Okay.
The Nils.
Sorry, John Tard.
The BFGs.
Wow.
The BFGs.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put in. There's so many amazing bands. Even the Doughboys. Like, yeah. The list is massive.
Would you put in Dayglow?
Of course, Dayglow Abortions, definitely.
Because it always comes back to that conversation, right? With what Dayglow went through when we talk about punk rock and that whole PMRC situation that was going on. For a Canadian band, they were right out there. They were a voice for punk rock for a long time, right? They were the punk rock voice, but you were always the female punk rock voice, a much softer voice. If you were, did you ever find that there was any kind of this side, that side? You know what I mean? With
Oh, sure.
punk rock
100%.
stuff? Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I mean, even when my first solo album was coming out, it was for me. I mean, I had a rap song on it. I had a dance song, ambient song. I had a metal song. I had a punk song, and there was a lot of ostracization for me as a young 23-year-old. And understandably, I think for me, I was never in a hardcore band. I mean, we were like skate punk bands, Gorilla. And, we were able to tour with a lot of hardcore bands and be on festivals with them. But I think it was more about our philosophy and our socialist idealistic kind of idea. I mean, the music scene was so different in the early 90s. It was so different. And, it was almost like, it was a new era that was happening, and hardcore survived through it all. And it does today. It still carries on. And the scene is still growing all over North America and the world.
Let me ask you this, though. Let me take a different spin on it. Because I think on one hand, I hear Punk Rock Hall of Fame, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going. On the other hand, I think to myself, do we need a Hall of Fame for every specific genre, right? Like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland has music from all genres. It's not rock and roll. I've been there, I've checked it out. I've seen Grandmaster Flash in there and I've seen Eminem in there and all this, but like at the same time, there are many glaring omissions in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so you look at it and go, well, if Soundgarden's not in there, if Iron Maiden's not in there, well, what the fuck, right? And so like, does it mean that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should just be the Music Hall of Fame and should be curated better? Or do we need these physical brick and mortar places for every subgenre of music that we love?
I don't know. I think it's fun, to be able to go to, like, literally to be able to go to a place, like the Hockey Hall of Fame is an example.
Sure.
There's a
Just
country music
hockey.
one. There's a
Yeah,
country
and
music Hall of Fame.
people
right?
love to do it, and they love to do it. It gives people a place to go and something to do that they're really interested in, that they're passionate about, and it creates memories for people.
I'll
So
bet
I
you.
think
I'll
that,
bet you people will even go to a fucking polka Hall of Fame
of course, I would go to a polka Hall of Fame.
because they got
Only
some
Weird
weird.
Al
They got to have
Yankovic
some
did
Weird
it.
Al shit in there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good, and it's all about people being able to to have an escape and do something that they love to do, and celebrate.
Have you
It's
been
funny.
to
Yeah.
the Hall of Fame in Cleveland?
I did a TV show there with Johnny Rotten and Billy Duffy called the Bodog Battle of the Bands.
Right on. Tell me about that. I never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, we had a TV show. So there are two. Besides Bodog Fight,
Yeah.
there's also Bodog Battle of the Bands,
Okay.
which was also another television production, and it was amazing. It was loads of fun, and
When was this, Biff?
I was a judge, and Johnny was a judge, and Billy Duffy was a judge, and all these bands competed, and the winner won $1 million record contract. Was the show? I mean, this was before any of the other shows went on TV.
Holy
So
shit.
it was on the Fuse Network, and what year was it? I got to think about it. I can't.
Look at that.
How is
Yeah.
how is Johnny Rotten? How was Johnny Rotten to work with? Because you hear so many stories, you know what I mean? And you obviously got him not, Sex Pistols Johnny Rotten so much. You got more like probably like PIL Johnny Rotten. You know what I mean? Like, but how was he to work with for that show?
Well, I do discuss it a little bit in my book. It
Mm.
was, I was a huge fan, obviously. And I mean, he's authentically who he is.
Mhm.
And people love him for it. And, I didn't know him very well before we did the show. And you know me, I'm a people pleaser.
Johnny Rotten hit on you, Biff?
No.
Okay.
I can tell you for sure, no. But I mean, I loved doing the show. I loved it, and I loved being a judge with Johnny and with Billy, and it was I loved it. I mean, we went to Austin, Texas. We went to Cleveland and shot in the Hall of Fame for I think it was the first episode we shot there, and it was amazing. It was really, really an amazing experience for me. It was really, really amazing. It was fun, and the bands that played were all amazing. I mean, and I'm a terrible judge. Like even on on Canada's Drag Race,
You
I
would
was
be.
I'm
You would be. You're
terrible.
just like, oh,
Yes.
fucking tens for everybody.
Yes, that's exactly what I did.
You
And
are
so-
you're such a participation
isn't-
trophy mom.
No, it was the
You-
worst. I was the worst judge on Canada's
Everybody
Drag
gets
Race.
a ribbon.
I just cried. I was so proud of everybody. I was just crying. I'm so proud of you. You're so sincere. I just love. And it was like, no, this girl cannot come back on our show.
Well, hold on a second. Are you telling me with all the years you've spent in music, okay, and I'm sure you've gotten notes from producers and whatever, you can't sit and listen to a performance and give somebody some hard love.
You know
constructive
shit
criticism?
when you hear shit.
Oh, well, yes and no. I mean, here's the thing, and I used to have this argument with people back in the '90s when they didn't like um, pop pop artists, singers, and
Mhm.
they would
Oh,
just say
we
it was
still don't.
or boy bands or all this other stuff, and I would say yes, granted, but to their fans, they really are. They love them. They deeply love them, and they root for them.
Mm.
And the thing about it is, like art, like visual art, it's subjective. It's really subjective. And just because, someone doesn't like country and they like, you know, true English ska,
Mm.
and they don't understand the other person's, favorite song, it doesn't make it any less important to that person. I think that it's a subjective
I
thing.
have a friend who is actually she
No, you
is
don't.
I have a friend. I didn't say
You
many.
don't.
I have a friend.
Adding him.
She is a very big fan of the Backstreet Boys.
Mm,
Even went so far as like she would go to Vegas to see them, went on to their penultimate show, the second to last show that they ever did, spends all
amazing.
this money, sits in the third row, does all of this stuff, goes backstage, meets them every single time. I judge the shit out of her every single time for doing so. So don't give me this. We can't judge people. It doesn't make us less friends. She just knows that I think that she is silly for doing so.
Is there anybody that you love that much that you're a fan of? Like anybody, any wrestler, any fighter, any band? Like, is there anyone that you would like do that?
The only thing I can do, Biff, is love myself today.
My point is like you can't. There's got to be something, and so it's just you know what I mean.
I do exactly.
Yeah, it's just that's what she's into. That's the bottom line. That's what she's into,
That's exactly how
and that's okay.
one of my best friends, Karen Zeifman, that's how she is with Mariah Carey. And Karen just sent me a message, Biff, and
I
it's
love Mariah Carey.
well, there you go. Karen's message, she is referencing the fact that she wrote a book, a relationship book, Biff, last year about her
Oh,
disastrous dating life and all the toxic relationships she's been in. It's a hilarious book.
oh,
The foreword was done by our friend George Strombolopoulos.
oh, cool.
She is now working on a second book. I don't know why. Maybe she didn't learn her lessons from the first one. But she's working on a second book all about narcissistic people in relationships and how to avoid them. And her text here says, just let Biff know not to be surprised if I hit her up for a foreword.
What is that
Well,
four-letter word?
Yeah, maybe.
forward. That's very sweet. That's very, very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to read her books.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what? You would actually enjoy. I have a copy of it somewhere. I'll get you a copy. You would enjoy her book. It's called "Let's Talk About Ex Baby,"
Oh, that's funny.
and it's a hilarious book. She pokes fun at herself the whole time, and
Very nice.
it's. I mean, the audience is mainly women, but anybody would get a kick out of that book.
Oh, sure.
There was another story that popped up this week that I wanted to ask you about. Actually, just broke today on TMZ. Michael Jordan, his $15 million mansion was burglarized, and an 18-year-old kid was arrested. I guess what I'm really wondering here, as the sort of parallel, Biff, have you ever had a situation? Because I know that your fans love and adore you to the point where they feel like they intimately know you and have a relationship with you. Have you ever had a scary situation with a fan, either trying to break into your home or like being just like really crossing that line?
Well, there was. Let's put it this way.
Okay,
There,
let's.
Spill the
the
tea.
there were over 200,000 words that HarperCollins was not able to publish in my memoir that I wrote.
Mhm.
There
The
are
Ibifficus, right?
Yeah, and so I feel bad for anyone who has a stalker. I feel bad for anyone who has a stalker. And because of the job that I've always had, I am no stranger to this experience. And, you know, sometimes law enforcement has had to intervene in my life. And that's been something that has been challenging. Because, I'm just like, I want to forgive everybody. But it's been challenging. It's been very challenging. And so I have a lot of experience with stuff like that, and it's always very unfortunate. Um, but at the same time, hey, I'm lucky because I can still go to the Sobeys and get spinach every day by myself. I don't have. I always used to think that I felt bad for actresses in Hollywood and these mega stars, whether it's Jennifer Aniston or any of these, even Gwen Stefani, God bless her. Like people will go through their parents' garbage. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they can't do anything. They can't actually do anything. They can't walk their dog. They can't do anything by themselves. And I think that would that would not be fun. I really appreciate being able to do my thing. I know all the cashiers at my grocery store by name. They know me. We see each other. We know each other. I ask them how the kids are. We laugh and make jokes about spouses, and it's like I feel like we're friends. And I think that there's a lot of elements in people's lives that have, if they're in the performing arts or if they're famous or anything, they don't get to have that experience. And I feel bad for them because I think that that's one of the rich experiences in life is the connections that we just make every day. It's I guess it connects our humanness in a way, if that makes
Right.
any sense.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that would be a shame if I wasn't able to do that.
Have you ever had to put a restraining order on to anybody though?
I'm not allowed to talk about
Okay.
it.
I said we're not gonna talk about that, kid.
I'm like,
Fuck.
How many?
no, it's okay.
Is there
Dude.
No,
multiples?
it's okay. No, it's okay. I've been around a long time,
Mhm.
and I've seen it all. So I've seen it all.
I want to
I've
ask
seen
you
it
this.
all.
I think the last time you joined us, we heard whispers of a documentary. And when we had Brendan Brown from Wheatus on our show a couple months ago, he talked about his documentary, which has been in production seemingly for like 10 years. So
Wow.
where do we stand on the Biff documentary and what can you tell us about it, if anything?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm a very, very lucky girl.
So
Jennifer
we
Abbott.
are the lucky ones.
You're so funny. Jennifer Abbott is the director, and most people probably know her from The Corporation. But she made one of the most magnificent films I've ever seen is one that she made called The Magnitude of All Things. She's just an incredible filmmaker. To be able to work with her is such a privilege. To work with Triton, Electric Panda, and Score G Productions, to work with Super Channel, to work with the teams that have been coming with us. Last year, we filmed for a month in Paris, and me and Grace. Grace does not like the drones, but in Paris, it's going to be very nice how it looks. And we filmed in Mexico in January, and yeah, they follow us to a lot of the concerts, and we're still filming. Um, I don't know. I think that they have a vision for a release in 2024. It's hard to say. I'm not sure. And so this year we have a lot of different film locations planned that are just starting to unfold. So it's really been amazing. It's been amazing to work with this team and with the crew and yeah, and all of the production and everyone is committed. Everyone's on the same page, and they're telling my story in a way that I couldn't, and they're it's just, I don't know what to expect, to be honest with you. I think that they're doing everything very tenderly, and it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be
Is
very interesting.
is there a story, or is this one of those deals where they've got cameras following you around and they're hoping a story develops and they're just going to do like this is a slice of life?
Well, I mean, again, this is up to the director and
Okay.
the production and the DP, but I think that it's uh, because it's Jennifer's lens.
Mhm.
I think that it's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be really beautiful. I think it's going to be um, a very different depiction from any other rock documentary. It's not it's not a music documentary per se at all. And I think that some of the intimate conversations that we had on camera, um, particularly in France when we were there in the fall, I think that it's very revealing. I feel very vulnerable about it, and and we do get down there. We do talk about, yes, my experience with violence. Yes, my experience with violent stalkers. Yes, my experience with the law. Things that have maybe never been revealed. Um, we're probably going to do some interviews with my birth mom, which
Mm.
I'm very excited about. And it's just, there's so many facets to it. There's just so many facets. So it's gonna be it's gonna be really cool. I mean,
I'm
I just feel so lucky.
Wow.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
If we have more questions in the chat, but before we get to that,
Okay.
I want to make sure we take care of a little piece of business so that your manager doesn't email me and go, "What the fuck?" Um, can you tell us?
Spot on
about-
impersonation.
Can you tell us about some of your upcoming shows, please?
Oh yes, please. Thank you. So on April the 28th,
Hmm.
I'm gonna be joining Jess Mitchell and the McDonald brothers from the Trues and my friend Tim Hicks.
Friends of the show, the McDonald brothers.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm really excited. Songwriters in the Round, and it's a fundraiser that's happening to benefit the Education Foundation of Niagara. So I think there might be a link in my link tree, but I'm going to post it in the
There you
round.
go.
There it is, and I'll post it on my Instagram tomorrow. Been having trouble making Facebook events. Um, I can't figure it out for some reason. It's not working, and my laptop barely works. So sorry, guys. That's just my reality. I don't have a TV, so this is my life.
Can one of our
Um,
20 producers help Biff make Facebook events, please?
Right.
Also, on the 10th of June, we're going to be playing with Sloan and Finger 11. And,
Nice.
and that is going to be in Simcoe at the Norfolk Fairgrounds. That's the 10th of June. June 30th, Lake Cowichan for the Lake Town Shakedown. We will be there. That's in BC.
Mm.
And then the Crew Fest in Brantford is on July 29th.
Yes.
And Pigeon Lake in central Alberta, also with the Trues and the Odds and Kim Mitchell, my dear friend who lives down the street and walks his dog too. So yeah, summer is starting to get busy and shape up to be really lovely.
I'm just going to tell you, in January, Mr. Tidwell and I had the opportunity to go down to Buffalo and see the Trues perform. And they had us come out on stage and introduce them.
Oh, that's
And
so cool.
it was so fucking wild. But now, Miss Naked, I've got the bug. So if you
Oh, I
need an MC to
see.
introduce you,
Interesting.
Mr. Tidwell and I are available.
Okay, that's good to know.
Brantford is
Very good to
Brantford.
know.
Brantford sounds like a great place. Listen, Biff, you inspire a lot of people, and I would be remiss if I didn't read a couple of these here before we go. A couple of these super chats. My lost interest for $1.99. You inspire him so much. Female punk is my spirit animal. Very good. And also, Graham Murphy, Biff, any advice for maintaining a good relationship with bandmates?
Don't date them.
I would say, you know what? It's easy to have a good relationship with your bandmates because you're all I mean, hopefully you're all kind of have lots of things in common besides just playing a good show. It's like being on a hockey team. It's like being on a sports team.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their role, but it's for the show is the game. Basically, you want to win every night. So how can you support your teammates?
Terry
Basically.
Nee on here for $10. Great guest. We agree, Terry. We agree.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. High tipper of the day. Tid, do we have any others?
No, I think that's been about it so far. I mean, we could have questions going
All night. I know, but we're not
Yeah.
going to do that because we've eaten up a lot of Biff's time, and she's way too polite to say, "Guys, fuck off. I want to go to bed."
Yeah,
You're
because she's
so
not going to watch.
funny.
She's not going to watch a TV show. Not on a TV. Not on her computer. She's gonna have to get out a pair. Wait, hold on. Do you get out a pair of binoculars and like peer through the window into somebody else's place to see what they're watching on their
Ooh.
TV? Maybe.
No, I don't. I can't. And again, without my glasses, I wouldn't be able to see what they're watching, anyways.
Looking like Mrs. Kravitz from Bewitched, just peeking through the curtains, trying
That's
to see
right.
what's going
That's
on.
me. Yeah, that's me. No, I get up at 5 in the morning, and I like to go to bed at a decent hour. If it's past 10 o'clock, it starts getting,
How early are these shows gonna be then, girl?
Oh, it's all first week of tour is always very hard on me.
Right?
Yeah, but that's the job,
Right.
and that's how I learned to do it. We would, if you play a show in Cincinnati and you don't load out till 2 in the morning and you have to deadhead it to Atlanta because you're doing morning radio.
Is it coffee? Is it like energy drink? Is it like what keeps you going then? Or is it just
Love,
natural,
baby.
just natural
Love.
buzz? Yeah, all right.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
I
is
don't
a
know. I think
pocket
that
answer. That is a
Yeah.
pocket answer.
it's love. I don't know. I have like maybe 1 cup of coffee a day, but not really. I don't even finish it. I have a couple sips. But yeah, I don't tend to
Oh,
think.
fuck. You would judge me so hard.
I do not judge anybody.
Everybody, listen, thank you on behalf of everyone here at the Shuli Network, the audience that's paying attention live, to everyone who's going to be joining us through the archives, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next year. Hey, it lives on the internet forever and ever. Remember, there are 3 previous interviews that we have done with Biff. You can find them on any major podcast provider. If you want to watch it, you can go to godfathersofpodcasting.com. We are going to put links to all of Biff's websites, her socials, so you can get more information about her shows in case you missed any of that. Make sure you go check her out live. I have said this before, one of my absolute favorite live performers. She is absolutely amazing, engages with the crowd, absolutely fucking rocks. It doesn't matter if it's an acoustic set or if she's cranked up to 11. Every single show is going to be memorable and so much fun. As always, my friend, it is a pleasure. Don't forget,
You guys are so nice.
you're inviting
You
Tid
guys
and
are
I
so
for
nice.
vegan. You're inviting Tid and I for vegan food. We're going to
Yes.
introduce you at a concert.
I'll bring
Yes.
I'll bring a steak.
No, you will not bring a steak. and then we're all gonna like have just like a big old kumbaya fest,
And listen to metal.
and we're gonna listen to metal.
Yeah.
I'll
The
bring
best-
a TV.
The best little death metal band out of Denton. How about that?
Love it.
Thanks,
Tremendous.
Biff.
Love it. Thank you guys so much. It's so
Love
nice to
you.
see you. So nice to see you. Love
We'll see you soon.
I hope so.
There she
Absolutely.
goes, everybody. That's Biff Naked. She is Canadian music royalty. If you didn't have any awareness of Biff before because you've been living south of the border and maybe her music hasn't reached your ears, I implore you to go check out her music list. Some of my absolute favorite albums and some of my absolute favorite singles, and her new shit is amazing. Douglas W. just got here. What did I miss? You missed everything.
Yeah, you missed the boat, Sunshine. Johnny 1.0. Great show, guys. Love the positive energy of you guys too. Well, thank you very much. It's very easy to do. It just bleeds over when you have a guest like Biff. That's really what it is. Come see us next week. We probably won't be so positive. I'm usually not anyways. I mean, who we kidding?
Johnny 1.0, not bad for a show that was taped yesterday, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is not live. This is Memorex, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
Thanks to everyone. Thanks to our producers that are backstage, Joe, Austin, and Andy. Thanks to the Shuli Network. And thanks to all of you. On behalf of TID, my name's Donnie. We'll see you next time.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope.